Okay, the sketches are done, the artwork is finalized, and now it's time to turn all of that into an actual, real product. My 2026 fresh picked calendar. Let's talk about how I pulled it all together, prepped for my first print, and ordered my very first sample. Like I said in the first video in this series, all the artwork for my calendar was created inside of Procreate, which honestly is a game changer. When you are working a full-time job and you're trying to fill all those little pockets of time that you have with making artwork, making things digitally makes that possible for me. To keep everything cohesive, I made sure to use the same brush settings, the same brushes. In this case, I used the Risograph brush set. I'll link it below. I used the same brush set last year. I love it because it adds this soft texture to all of my illustrations that makes them feel soft and tactile and like they were actually printed on a risograph. So once I had my 12 months of illustrations completed, I had to move into the designing the layout of the calendar process. And for me, I get into Illustrator, and that's where I take my illustrations from Procreate and drop them into my calendar document. So in this process, I'm aligning all the illustrations, I'm making sure they're the same month after month, I'm setting up the type for each month name, I'm making sure all of the numbers are correct because who wants a calendar with wrong dates? Not me, probably not you. And then it gives me a chance finally to see the whole calendar in one really big document. Honestly, it's too big for my screen, but I scroll up and down and then I'm able to see everything all at once. So this lets me see if everything feels balanced and cohesive. Are there any things I need to change? Is there anything that kind of pops out in a bad way? This is when I make all of those changes if I need to. So this next step used to kind of scare me, but thanks to Liz Kohler-Brown's The Studio membership, which I rave about because it is really helpful, it felt doable. Her tutorials walked me through all of the file preparation, how to set up my cover art, and making sure that everything exported cleanly and so that my images were crisp and perfect when I came to make my sample. So the next step is uploading everything into Gelato, which is the print-on-demand service I use. I love their prints. Their calendars print beautifully, and they make it super simple. I have to say their user interface is probably one of the easiest ones of all the print-on-demand providers that I have tested out. Once you have all of your images uploaded for each month, they show you a little preview of what your calendar is going to look like. So it's a little mock-up. It gives you some idea of what you're going to get. And then I hit purchase. So when you go into Gelato, it will show you the cost per calendar for you. And then you get to decide what do you want to charge for it at the retail price. And so for me, I'm trying to balance affordability and, value and what people will pay. I'm still trying to figure that out. Last year, I charged $29 for my calendars and they sold pretty well. And I'm thinking I might land around that number again this year, even though the rep from Gelato told me I could charge more. I'm not so sure. So I'm aiming for a final retail price somewhere between $26 and $30. And that gives me enough margin to cover the things I have to cover. So you have to remember, you're gonna have to pay for the calendar up front, and then you have to pay the shipping. And if you're selling through Etsy, then you have to pay the listing fees and the relisting fees. So it's important to kind of keep all of those numbers in your mind and preferably in an actual spreadsheet when you're trying to decide what to charge for a product. So I just ordered my first sample. I cannot wait to see it in real life. There is something about taking your digital work and turning it into a physical item that just always feels magical. So I'll be back in the next video to show you that sample. Although I am going to give you a little sneak peek. It did arrive when I was filming this video. How cute is that? So in the next video, I will show you how to set up that listing inside of Etsy or Shopify, if that's where you're selling things, and making sure that everything just runs super smoothly for your customers. If you are thinking about making a calendar of your own, definitely check out Liz Kohler-Brown's The Studio membership. I've put an affiliate link down below. It's for a free week. You decide, you test it out, but I think you're gonna love it. And if you're curious about how I came up with the theme and all of my sketching for the calendar, go back and watch the first video in this series. I will link it somewhere around here. and that will catch you up. And leave me a comment, let me know, have you ever created a calendar before? Do you use print on demand? Are there services that you love? I really want to hear from you, and I can't wait to come back and show you the final listing and more of the product. I'll see you next time.